Hello, and welcome back to the Tea and Soju Sea Drama podcast, your safe spot for sea drama chatter. I'm your host, Liliana, and it's time to sit back, grab your tea, and let's chat Asian drama. In today's episode, we have a bit of a different episode because MDL, or my drama list, is telling me that I have now watched more than 1,000 dramas. And I thought that was a bit of a milestone to be celebrated. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be going through my very top rated Chinese dramas and Korean dramas, and also my very lowest rated Asian dramas in general. So I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun. People always ask me, Liliana, what are like your 5-star ratings? What are your 5 teacups? And this is the episode where we're going to hash all of that out. Now, it is as it is right now, as of the time of recording in April 2025. This is how my list stands. Things are always shifting, things are always changing, but as of right now, this is where we are right now. So before we get into the episode, let's just do some housekeeping. If you like the podcast, please like, share, and subscribe on the platform you listen on. That really helps the podcast reach other listeners. For more content, check out Patreon, where you can find behind the scenes, movie reviews, and more. I would like to thank my patrons are Purple Dinosaurus, Marta, Caitlin, Lorna, Cheryl, Raysheen, Nancy, Suze, Amanda, Jane, Cindy, Tate, Valerie, Catherine, Julia, Sandra, Naz, JM, HZ, Haley, Maria, Nikki, Laura, Tia, Danielle, Sarah, and Judy Akel. Your support goes a long way to keep the podcast running smoothly, and I hope you enjoy all of the Patreon goodness that is over there. Finally, if you would like to chat to me or find a community, check out Discord, Instagram, and other socials. The link is in the episode notes. Now, just a fun little thing that I thought I would pop in there. We are going to be doing on Discord a sort of trial for a tea and soju book club, where a bunch of us basically read a book that is chosen randomly, and every sort of 2 months, and then you get about 2 months to read the actual book, and then we get together on Zoom or on Discord if you can't make the Zoom call, and we basically just chat together. So it's going to be like an online tea and soju book club, which I'm very excited. It is very much in the early stages. So if that's something that you think you would like to be part of, come on over to Discord. It's all of the details are over there, and we're having a lot of fun. So that is all of the housekeeping aside. So let's actually get into this episode. So I thought it was a bit of fun that I was just thinking about some episodes that, I wanted to do. And one of the things that, like I said in the intro, that keeps popping up is people keep asking me, we all know your rating scale, your 5 teacups, 4 teacups, and whatnot, but what are your actual 5 teacups dramas? And I thought it was fun to go and just have a little look. And it turns out that I have 7 Chinese dramas that are, what to me, 10s out of 10s on MDL, or my 5 teacup dramas. Now, when I say they're a 10 out of 10 for me, or there are 5 teacups, I don't mean that they are perfect dramas. That is never what I mean, because art is subjective, and what it may be perfect for me may not be perfect for the next person. What I mean by 10s out of 10s for me, or 5 teacups, these are dramas that I utterly love. I love so much that I really couldn't care less that there's problems with the plot, or with a little snafu here and there, if that makes sense, because to me, I love them so much, and I enjoyed watching the drama and the whole experience of talking about it, because actually, believe it or not, for most of these I do actually have podcast reviews for them. So I enjoyed the journey so much that that they become five teacups to me. They are what I call my era's dramas. It just means that when I'm watching that drama, I'm so in that world that they become, my whole entire personality in a sense for the amount of time that they're airing. If that makes any sense. So I'm just so in that world where I'm looking up edits and I'm looking up at, behind the scenes and interviews, and I'm just so in that world that they become favorites or comfort watches or dramas that I just absolutely love. And does that mean that there's nothing to critique about them? Of course not. Nothing is perfect, and there is always going to be a slight problem here and there, but it's just that I love them so much that I really couldn't care less, basically. So that's what I wanted to do here. So that's what we're going to do in today's episode. We're going to go through my top K dramas, top Chinese dramas, and then also my very bottom lowest of lowest dramas. Now, mind you, there are probably dramas that I would rate lower than what I've got on the list, but they are dramas that I didn't finish. I simply dropped. So nowadays, I tend to have dramas that are higher rated, simply for the reason that I've learned over the 6 years of watching that I don't have the time or the want to be watching anything that I'm not enjoying. So I just tend to drop them. So I was going through my drama list, and I have actually seen a shift in pattern in the sense that there is a lot of dramas on my watch list now, that I've watched recently, that I just, sevens and above, or 7.5 and above, simply because I feel like if it's lower than that, then I just drop it and I don't necessarily finish it, if that makes sense. I've just gotten to the point where I'm like, if I'm not enjoying it, I'm not going to be watching it, because, we've all got way too little time to be watching mediocre TV at this point. With all of that being said, let's get into this episode. I've brewed myself some red date and a ginger tea. Apparently, it's good. I mean, jujubes or red dates are just good for everything in general. I use Chinese red dates, and just a little bit of ginger, a little bit of rock sugar, and apparently it's really good for digestion. So that's what we're drinking today. It's good for the throat as well, and I've got a couple of things to record today. So that's what we're drinking while we're recording, and we are just gonna jump right into this. A little reminder though, this list is basically how I felt when I originally watched these dramas, and because I don't really rewatch, it's really hard to know how I would feel on a rewatch, but I honestly think most of these I would still love them, because I love them the first time around so much that, it's fair to say that I would love them again. So let's jump right into this. So the first up is my 10 out of 10 C dramas, also known as my 5 teacups or my eras dramas. These are the dramas that hold a very, very, very special place in my heart. And the first one, to no surprise, actually, I think this would be fun, guys. I reckon do a little pause on the episode here, right? And I'm intrigued to know if you guys can guess what is my top Chinese dramas, and then let me know either on a Spotify comment or a Instagram message or on Discord, wherever you want to. Let me know how many you guessed. I'm going to tell you how many I have on my 10 out of 10 C dramas, and it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 8 dramas in total, and four of them are two of them go together. I'm already giving you a clue there. 2 of them go together into one, right? So let me know if you can guess, or how many out of 8 can you guess that are in my, 5 teacups dramas, because I'm very curious to see if you guys can guess any. So with that being said, let's do the first one. So the first one will be perhaps I think if you guys don't get this one wrong, you must be a new listener because this one is a fairly classic to me, and that is the Chinese drama Go Ahead. Now, you guys know that I freaking adore this drama. I love it so much. And this one, in fact, I have rewatched because I did a review for it last year, I believe, and it was a guest review. And because I had watched it in 2020 while it was airing, this was 3 years later, and I just didn't remember a lot of the details. I thought, no, I really should go back and kind of just check it out again. And I did, and I loved it. I loved it just as much the second time around as I did the first time. I just adore this found family. It is one of the best found family dramas that I have ever watched out of my many dramas at this point. And it's just one of those dramas that is so comforting. It's about finding your people or your people finding you and, cherishing those bonds. And I love it. I love it. Now, a lot of people have actually asked if I've watched the Korean remake, and my answer is no. I will not be watching the Korean remake of this simply because I would never and could never be fair to a remake of this drama because I love the original so much. There's just no way for me to separate it. And also, one of the things that I heard a lot about the Korean remake, which I think is like Family by Choice, I think that's what it's called. Yeah, Family by Choice. So what I've heard about it is that there's a lot more romance in that. And for me, the romance in Go Ahead is a very, very minor subplot in the second half. And it's by far and often one of the plots that a lot of people don't enjoy as much in the drama as a whole. So actually, I just was not that keen to go and check out the Korean drama remake of it. So that's what we're going with. If you haven't watched this drama, it is a brilliant drama. It is about two neighborly dads, and one of the dads has a noodle shop, and he is raising his daughter who is played by the brilliant Tan Song Yoon. So she plays Lee Jian Jian, and the father is played by Tu Song Yan, and he plays Lee Hai Chao. Now, Lee Hai Chao, when I tell you guys, he is my all-time favorite C-drama dad of all time. He is my all-time favorite C-drama dad. I just adore him. He is everything you kind of want a father to be. He's understanding and he's loving and he's caring and he listens to his children. So basically, he is a single father. His wife passed away and he is raising his daughter, Li Jianjian. Now, upstairs in the apartment above his, we have Zhang Shi Lin is the actor who plays Ling He Ping, and he is a police officer. Something happens between him and his wife goes away, and he is left to raise Ling Xiao, who is played by Song Wei Long. Now, Ling Xiao, Jian Jian basically just befriends Ling Xiao, and Ling Xiao is kind of like a very withdrawn kid. He's very smart, very, to follow rules and whatnot, and because he's the above neighbor and his father is obviously a police officer, he's always out and about. And he's not great at taking care of Ling Xiao. So Noodle Dad, what I call Noodle Dad, basically takes Ling Xiao under his wing and kind of like feeds him. And he just becomes, part of their family almost. And, these two dads kind of raise these two kids together. And then we have the third or middle brother, which Jian Jian calls little brother. And he is called He Zi Chu. And he's played by the brilliant Zhang Qin Chang. And he basically, his mother has a brief fling with Hai Chao, and all of a sudden she's like, I have to go away, take care of my kid. And Hai Chao, being the wonderful person that he is, of course is not going to abandon this kid, and he starts taking care of this kid. So these three kids become like a little trio. And they are kind of, so, we have the upstairs neighbor who stays living upstairs, but basically has all of his meals downstairs with Hai Chao and Jan Jan. And we have Zichu, who, lives downstairs with Jan Jan and Hai Chao. And, the five of them, so these two fathers and these three kids kind of become a family of sorts, and it's a meshed together kind of family. Now, in Go Ahead, you see all of this happen. So the first, I can't quite remember, but I believe the first sort of 5, 6 episodes, maybe even 7 episodes, I can't quite remember where the cutoff is these as kids. So you get to see these brilliant little actors portray these characters, and then when these little actors become the adult versions, or the adolescent versions played by Ton Song Yoon and Song Wei Long and Zhang Xin Chang, you can see in the mannerisms who is who straight away, and I really adored that. I just adore this found family so much. The mothers are horrible. I always give this PCA, right before. The mothers are absolutely horrendous, but it's so worth it because, like, Noodle Dad, best dad ever. I love the relationship. I love the found family so much. And, it's just one of those where I truly wanted to check in on them every single time and just see how they were doing and where their story was going. And you're rooting for each and every single one of these characters. And it's emotional. It's very, very emotional at times. And I was just happy. I was just so incredibly happy because it's the perfect balance of a youth drama into an adult drama, if that makes sense. So yeah, this will always be one of my favorites. It's so beautiful, and I highly recommend, if you haven't watched it, or if you've just watched the Korean version and think, oh, I don't really want to check out the Chinese drama, I would highly encourage you to do so. And this one is so easily available. It's on Netflix, WeTV, Viki, iQIYI, TVing, China Huas TV on YouTube, and Mango TV. Now, I believe Netflix, it's not available all of that many places anymore because obviously they have Family by Choice, and right before Family by Choice aired, Netflix took Go Ahead down in a bunch of places. So, be warned by that. But it is 40 episodes, so it's a little bit longer, but it's worth every single episode. Like, this is one of the very, 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 very rare moments where I'm like, it's a modern drama with 40 episodes. I don't mind. And that never happens. So that is the first drama on my 10 out of 10 dramas. I also just forgot to mention, this is in no particular order. So this list has no, one and then number two. It's just like in no particular order at all. So next up is the wonderful. So moving on, Devil. Now, this drama is a favorite of many people out there. It's one of those dramas that kind of brought a whole new wave of people into Chinese dramas, and I was very excited. I was watching this on air. Now, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know that I love xianxia in general. So it's one of my favorite genres to watch. Although recently I haven't really been enjoying it as much, which is a little bit worrying. But so I've always really enjoyed xianxia in general. And when this one came out, I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't that excited about it. It was two actors that, yes, I had watched here and there, but I wasn't that, gung ho about. So this stars STU, or Yu Sushin, as Orchid, and it stars Dylan Wang, or as Dongfang Ching Sung. We also have Zhang Linghe as Chang Hung. So I got introduced to most of these actors from this drama. Like I said, I had watched them before, but I wasn't that keen on any of them that much, apart from Zhang Linghe, because I had been following him for a little while before. So Wang Hedi I had seen before, and I was like, I don't think he's that good of an actor. And Yu Su Shin I had also seen before, and I had thought, she's okay, but she tends to do very cutesy roles, and I'm like, is this really going to work. So I was a little bit apprehensive, and then I pressed play, and within, I think, the first episodes, I was so in. I was captivated. I was hooked. I was like, I'm here for this. So if you don't know what Love Between Fairy and Devil is, it is a xianxia drama. And basically, the MDL description reads, according to legend, Dongfang Cheng Song of the Moon Tribe became an emotionless monster to gain immense power, killing his father, seizing the title of Moon Supreme, and leading 100,000 Moon Tribe soldiers on a path of destruction. To stop him, the first god of war of Shu Yintian sacrificed her primordial spirit, sealing Dongfang Cheng Chang's army and locking him in the Hai Tian Tower. 30,000 years later, a disturbance in the Hotian matrix draws Orchid, a weak flower fairy, into the tower, where she encounters the Moon Supreme. Their meeting triggers a series of events that could once again threaten the world's fate. So basically, he's trapped in this tower, and she kind of comes along, and they end up meeting, and she accidentally ends up freeing him from this tower. So that's kind of like the setup for this. It is epic love. It is, oh my god, it has some of the most heartbreaking scenes I have seen. And after this, I was like, these two actors can absolutely act, especially Wang Kadi. And I'm thinking of a very specific scene that if you have seen this drama, you would know exactly what scene I am talking about, where it breaks you to watch him on screen, because he's just that good. He's just that good at like conveying the emotion of that specific scene and of that moment. So I just adored it. This was one of those dramas where I was chasing episodes. I was looking at the behind the scenes and looking at the interviews and looking at the actors themselves, because I hadn't known them that well. So I adore this drama with all of my heart. It's one of my favorite xianxias in general. Now, this is what I mean when I say this is a five teacups. And does it have problems? Of course it does. Like, the ending could have been better. We could have had a couple of changes here and there. Do I care? Absolutely not. The chemistry was on point. The outfits were on point. The OST, goodness, that OST. And, this came out and it was still pandemic kind of years. Everybody was still a little bit apprehensive. And I was just sold. Everybody was watching this, and a lot of people were like coming into this and had never watched Chinese dramas, and all of a sudden there's all of these people watching Love Between Fairy and Devil. And I have merch for this drama. I have bunch of stuff. I just love it. I just truly do. It's one of those epic romances that just grabs you and locks you in and keeps you sat for the 36 episodes. So, it's absolutely one of those that I always highly recommend. It is part of the Aichi Love On series, and it is, like I said, 36 episodes, but it's available originally it was only available on iQIYI, but then it became available. It's now on Viki, on Netflix, and on Apple TV, apparently. So it is available in a bunch of places, and it's one of those dramas that if you like fantasy, this is, a very easy drama to bring new people into xianxia, I think. So yeah, Love Between Fairy and Devil, absolutely one of my top ones for Chinese dramas. So next up is the one that I kind of said they go together hand in hand. And if you guessed One and Only and Forever and Ever, then you would absolutely be correct. Now, I always treat these as almost two dramas that go into one, if that makes sense, because I feel like that's how the original source material goes down, whether, even if they couldn't have adapted it that way for the for the drama adaptation, because of censorship and whatnot, I still believe it's one of those that, even though it's two separate dramas, it could almost be one drama, if that makes sense. So if you don't know what this is about, One and Only is actually a historical drama, and it follows the story of Zhou Chang Chen, who is a general, and Su Qi, who becomes his disciple. Now, she at the beginning is kind of mute, and they kind of developed this relationship, and but they could never be together. So, this drama, One and Only, is very angsty. It's very these two barely ever touch. Guys, these two don't kiss throughout the whole, like, they barely even touch. So these two actors, the cast for this is Bai Lu, who plays Shi Yi, and we have Ren Jialan, who plays Chang Chen. These two together, oh my goodness, they sizzle. They absolutely sizzle together, because there's, like I said, no touching. There's barely any, skinship at all. It's all in the charge of, like, the eyes. It's all in the glances. It's all in the very angsty looks they give at each other. And I was here for it. I was here for it. I was a mess by the end. Now, I will tell you, the ending is tragic, but then you have Forever and Ever, so it's fine, because Forever and Ever is not tragic. So One and Only, basically what happens is, this is based on a novel where Shi Yi and Chong Chen are actually reincarnated, and they meet up in the future, and Shi Yi actually has all of her memories from her past life, and her past life is the One and Only drama, basically. Now, because of censorship, they couldn't really do reincarnation, so they had to split it into two dramas, a historical one and a modern one. One and Only being the historical, and Forever and Ever being the modern drama part of it. Now, One and Only is very tragic, it's very angsty, like I said, and then Forever and Ever is very light, it's very breezy, but they have so many, like, interconnecting little things. So, for example, in Forever and Ever, Shi Yi. So the only cast that kind of returns is Bai Lu or Men Jialan, and Shi Yi is actually a voice dubber in Forever and Ever. And right at the beginning of the drama, in the first episode of Forever and Ever, she is actually dubbing the last scene of One and Only. So it's really, really beautiful. There's a lot of, like, little things that they tried very hard to get away with to kind of connect everything together. So it's a lot of fun trying to see those connections. Now, One and Only is 24 episodes long, and it's available on WeTV, iQIYI, Viki, and Prime Video. So very widely available. But like I said, go in with caution. It is a tragic ending, but then you can start Forever and Ever. And I always say Forever and Ever is not going to be for everybody, because it is a modern drama and it is 30 episodes. And I do think, Forever and Ever could be slightly shorter. If anything, One and Only is like my 10 star, and then Forever and Ever carries that title simply because I love these two actors and I kind of want to see their happy ending together, more so than the actual storytelling of the second drama, if that makes sense. So I think, I always say not everybody's going to actually enjoy Forever and Ever as much as One and Only, because it is their modern version, and it's just a little bit different. So yeah. The MDL description for Forever and Ever reads, this story is about Shi, a gentle, pleasant, and low-key but industry's top voice actress who ran into the elegant returnee chemistry professor Zhou Chang Chen at the airport one day. They gradually develop a mutual understanding in getting along with each other and join hands to preserve traditional craftsmanship and overcome many storms as they decide to accompany each other for the rest of their lives. So actually, that meeting at the airport that opens up forever and ever is the start of the novel this is based off. So this is adapted from the novel One Life, One Incarnation, Beautiful Bones by Mo Bao Fei Bao. Now, if you don't know, I adore Mo Bao Fei Bao. I think she's just so incredibly talented, and she actually wrote the screenplay for both One and Only and Forever and Ever, but you will know her very much as she is the original creator for Amidst a Snowstorm of Love, Love Me, Love My Voice, Road Home, Go Go Squid. So she has done some of the biggest dramas in terms of modern dramas, but also just dramas in general. And she's then been the screenwriter for a bunch of things. Scarlet Heart, she was a screenwriter for. And Go Go Squid, which is her original work, anyways. So yeah, I adore it. I truly, truly do. And if it's more Bao Fei Bao, she's one of those that I tend to keep an eye out for in terms of dramas, whether she's screenwriting them or whether it's an adaptation of her work. So that is One and Only slash Forever and Ever. Like I said, if anything, One and Only is probably my 5 teacup. Forever and Ever scores slightly lower, but for me, they kind of always go hand in hand as one single drama, if that makes sense, because One and Only is so tragic that I kind of needed Forever and Ever to heal me afterwards. So I take it as one big drama, if that makes sense. So next up, we are jumping back into Xianxia with the 2023 drama Till the End of the Moon. Now, if you guys know anything about me and this drama, we had quite the wild ride together. Not only did I review this as it was airing, so I did a couple of parts for this, on the podcast, but I then also went to review this over on Daybark and with Jess and Caitlin. And it was the first time that the three of us actually sat down and recorded anything together. And it was, before Drama Trio was a thing. So it was very, very fun to do. It's kind of the first thing that we all sort of recorded together pre-drama trio, and that just holds a special place for me in general. But this drama, I mean, I had in fact watched Love is Sweet before. Now, if you don't know, this drama stars Lu Yunqi, and it also stars Bai Lu. So these are the two main casts, and these two actors have actually worked together in Love is Sweet. I had watched Love is Sweet a while back, and I knew the chemistry between these two was fire. So when they were announced to do another drama together, I was like, yes, please, and thank you. I'm so excited for this. Sign me up. So, and then I started seeing some of the trailers and some of the promo, and I was like, oh my God, this is true enemies to lovers. Like, these two want to kill each other. And I was like, yes, please sign me up. Because if you know me, you know that I have a gripe with nowadays. People kind of slap an enemies to lovers on a drama or a book or whatever, and these two are just like mildly dislike each other, and all of a sudden they are enemies to lovers. So to me, an enemies to lovers is these two are true enemies in the sense of the word. They are like wanting to kill each other, they are down a bad path for each other, and then something happens and they do a 180 and they suddenly, or over a period of time, fall in love with each other. So that to me is true enemies to lovers, and that is what Till the End of the Moon is. It is very much a xianxia down to its core. The costuming for this, give it a whole damn minute, because the costuming for this is still some of my all-time favorite costuming ever. It's still some of my favorite costumes that I've ever seen, and actually this is the only drama that I actually have the dolls that was brought up from this drama. I bought both sets of the dolls for this, and if I remember, when I post the Instagram post for this episode, I will remember, or try to remember, to post the pictures of the dolls that I have for this drama. That's how much I was in this world. Now, is this drama perfect? Absolutely not. It isn't. It unfortunately introduced me to Chandu Ling, who is a no-go actress for me nowadays. But it did suffer a lot. So 2023, this was exactly round about the time where the whole rules for dramas changed in terms of airing length, and this was cut down to 40 episodes, and you felt it. You definitely felt that it was edited down, and unfortunately, it's just how the cookie crumbles. I still think they did a fairly good job with what they could at the time, and I still loved it. Now, if you don't know, the MDL description reads: in an era where when demons have dominion over cultivators and mortals, the cultivator elders believe it is imperative to send someone back in time to discover the origin of the demon lord and prevent his resurrection. Li Su accepts the mission and assumes the identity of mortal Yi Shi Wu, the second daughter of General Yi. She's married to Tantai Jin, the captive prince and future demon lord, and is determined to destroy him. Aware that in the future he will come to massacre many, but as witness to Tantai Jin's past life and rise to power, an unexpected tale emerges, one complicating her quest. So that's kind of like the story. So this guy is meant to become a demon lord, and she's sent back in time to basically kill him. But where she sees him, he's at like the lowest of his lows, and she sees a point where she thinks she can change things, and that's kind of like where the story goes. So I just love it. It is stunningly beautiful. I love this drama. I truly do. It's one of my all-time favorite xianxas, and it's available in so many places. It's available on Yoku, Soho TV, Line TV, Viki, Netflix. So it's widely available, thank goodness. So that was Till the End of the Moon, and we have three dramas left on my 10 out of 10 C dramas. And the first one would be Amidst a Snowstorm of Love. Now, I will fully admit right out of the bat, people, I will fully admit this is not a 10 out of 10 drama. This is all vibes and barely any plot. Do I care? Absolutely not. I was there for every single episode, sat and ready to watch Roulette just riz every single person that was watching this drama. I loved the chemistry between these two. I really liked it. I think this drama, when it aired at the beginning of last year, and it came at an exact moment for me personally. I was having a bit of a rough time when this started airing, and this was just perfect. It truly was. I was intrigued by the plot. Was there much of it? Absolutely not. But it was shot so beautifully. The acting was really good. And actually, towards the second half of the drama, you get to see some really emotive acting from Roulette, and I was just here for it. The reason I went into this drama, I will fully admit, fully admit, it was three reasons: Roulette, Zhao Jinmai, and Mo Bao Fei Bao. I knew this was going to be a Mo Bao Fei Bao adaptation, so I was like, I'm already sat because I love this author and she does romance really well. So I was already sat for that. And then you chuck in Wu Lei, who is the king of Riz in general, I feel like, when it comes to some of his roles, and this role specifically. And then you add in Zhao Jinmai, who I'd loved in a reset and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. Like I said, this drama is absolutely not going to be for everybody. It's just going to be one of those dramas that is not going to hit for everyone because it is all vibes and barely any plot, but it worked for me personally. I was there, I was sold, I wanted to watch every single episode. I was chasing episodes for this, and I think I can't remember, but I may have actually bought the express pack for this. Because it was airing on WeTV, maybe not, but I was just sold. And then you add in the fact that also you had Wang Xingyu in this, and you had, Ding Xiaoying and Chen Jingke. Like, all of these actors are good actors in themselves. Such a good found family, like supportive characters, barely any, like, no real romance triangles or anything. So I was just sold. Look, guys, sometimes I'm a bit vain and it barely happens nowadays. I do usually need more from a drama, but when it comes to this, I was just there because it was so pretty. There was pretty people on screen being extremely good looking and very charming to watch. And I was sold. What can I say? Sometimes I'm a bit shallow, and when it comes to this drama, I feel like that's what it is. Um, like I said, it's not going to work for everybody. It's not going to be a 10 out of 10 for most people. But for me personally, it was because it hit me at the right time. I was needing some comfort. And this is definitely that. It's a very comforting drama to watch, personally, I think. So yeah, I was sold, and I loved every single minute of it. So, next up is this wouldn't be a list without it, and it is the Chinese drama Hidden Love. Now, I adore youth dramas, and this one was done just so beautifully, to the point where this came out 2023, it is now 2025, and I still very clearly remember certain scenes from it. I adored it. I mean, Zhao Lushi and Chen Zuyan just were fire in this drama. The amount of chemistry these two have could have burnt down a building. I loved the storytelling. Just I just loved this drama. So much so that I ended up reviewing it in two parts on the podcast, because I had so many notes. It is once again one of those dramas that came along and kind of brought in and ushered in a whole new generation of, Chinese drama watchers, because a lot of people that had never even, pressed play on a Chinese drama all of a sudden were watching Hidden Love, and that was a lot of fun. This is from the author Zhu Yi, and I adore this author. I think she does modern youth dramas very well. So whenever it's one of her adaptations, I kind of really perk up and listen. So this one is actually adapted from the web novel Secretly but Unable to Hide It. And I just loved it. And the author herself has confirmed that this was a story that happened to her, but because obviously in real life she didn't have her happy ending, she chose to give Sangzi and Duan Jiashu, their happy ending in this story. And basically, Duan Jiashu is Sangzi's brother, so Sang Yan's best friend, and Sangzi has been in love with him since forever. And it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story of first love and how powerful first love can be. And sometimes first love wins, and in this case it absolutely does. It is a beautiful story. I truly just loved it in general. It's one of those stories I still very vividly remember. This comment, somebody made a comment on, at the time a lot of people were still using Twitter, me included, and somebody made a comment on Twitter saying this drama speaks to the young adolescent that I was and to the woman that I am today. And I absolutely agree with it. It's one of those dramas that just speaks to women on a baser level, because who the heck didn't have a crush on an older guy at one point or another? So I just adore it. I think it's one of those dramas that is beautiful to watch. It is so widely available, this one. It's one of the most well-known Chinese dramas, I think, nowadays, and it's both on Yoku and Netflix. So if you haven't, I highly recommend it. And then to go together with that, and this is my most recently addition to my 10 out of 10, that would be the First Frost. It is the sister drama to Hidden Love, but it's, follows Sangyan's story. It is a much more mature drama. It is a much more darker drama at times, and I still loved it. It's still romance at its core. It is still beautiful to watch, and I'm not going to talk too much about this one because I've literally just released a two-part a review on it with Becky and Laura. So if you want more thoughts, definitely go and check back and listen to those episodes. The three of us had a blast talking about this drama. I had so many notes to talk about. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, go and check it out. But that completes my 10 out of 10 C dramas, my 5 teacups. And just to recap, they are Go Ahead, Love Between Fairy and Devil, One and Only, Together with Forever and Ever, Till the End of the Moon, Amidst a Snowstorm of Love, Hidden Love, and then First Frost. Now, funnily enough, a lot of these are, you know, modern dramas and or xianxia dramas, but I do tend to nowadays prefer historical dramas. So that is quite interesting. I just haven't had, I mean, I loved dramas like The Double and whatnot, and you will see those pop up in a little bit because I'm just going to quickly run through my 9.5s in a minute. But just before we do that, I was looking at my list and I found this very, very interesting, but there is only two K dramas that I have rated a 10 out of 10. So there is only two K dramas for me that are 5 teacups, and that is first up the K drama Move to Heaven. This drama is so incredibly emotional, I just couldn't. The acting in this is so next level. I adored it. It is 10 episodes. It is a Netflix drama, and it stars Lee Joo Hoon, it stars Tang Jong Sang, and Hong Song Hee. So those are the three main characters, actors in this. And honestly, it's just one of those dramas that I loved it. It's basically a company named Move to Heaven, where these people go in and they clear out spaces of people who have passed away. And through clearing these spaces, you kind of get to know the person and you learn about the person's story. It is brutally emotional. I cried buckets throughout this drama, but I was so incredibly invested. It is very cathartic. It's very hopeful too. It obviously is going to be sad in a sense. It deals with death, and death is never a happy moment. So I truly just adored this drama. And then the other one that I have that is a 10 out of 10 K drama for me, it is the K drama The Red Sleeve. I freaking adored this K drama so much. I was obsessed with it. I was chasing every single episode every week, and this is a Saeguk, and it stars Lee Jun Ho and Lee Se Young. I freaking adore Lee Se Young. I think she's such a good and versatile actress. And Lee Jun Ho, until I watched this drama, I kept thinking, why is everybody so gung ho about this actor? And then I watched The Red Sleeve and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I get it now. It is like I said, a Saeguk. He is a king, and he basically falls in love with her, and she's a maid. So she doesn't really want to marry him because, there's a whole story behind it, but she doesn't want to be trapped in this palace. And it's that question of, do you follow your dreams? Do you follow your love? It's very, 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 I don't know. It's just a beautiful story. It's very angsty, so incredibly angsty throughout the whole drama. So I really loved it. So that is The Red Sleeve. Now, for my 10 out of 10 C dramas, I literally have reviews on all of them. For these K dramas, I don't have reviews on. But they're K dramas that I really, really love. Now, I thought it would be fun to just very, very quickly, briefly go through my. So we are now Chinese dramas. There's a few more than, my top ones. So I just picked some out, and some of them include Joy of Life season 1 and season 2. Freaking adore that historical. It's so good. If you like politics, but more relaxed, very cleverly done politics with a bunch of comedy thrown in. Highly recommend this one. Not a drama, but a Chinese movie, and it's the Chinese movie Better Days. Oh my god, I again absolutely cried buckets with this. It is very hard to watch at some points, but I still highly recommend. So that is the Chinese movie Better Days. Then we have The Starry Love, which is a xianxia. I really, really liked it. I actually have a podcast review for The Starry Love with Jess from Daybuk. It was so long that I ended up splitting it into 2 parts, and I believe the first part is all non-spoiler. So if you truly want to go in and just hear us talk about the non-spoiler part, you can do that. So that is The Starry Love, Lighter and Princess, still one of my favorite youth dramas. It is not going to be for everybody because it's one of those dramas where the characters are grey characters, and or quite honestly, a lot of the time they are unlikable characters, but you still grow to understand their actions a lot of the time. So yeah, Lighter and Princess. Reset obviously had to be on this list. It is probably my all-time favorite crime drama. So we also have a review with that one, and it is a drama trio with Becky. So you can check that out. New Life Begins. New Life Begins is such an easy watch. I love it. If you like female-centered dramas, highly recommend New Life Begins. It stars Bai Jingting, who is the male lead from The First Frost, and it stars Tian Chi Wei. Really, really highly recommend. It's just one of those dramas that is very easy to watch. It's all about girl power, and I really, really loved it. So that is New Life Begins, and I do have a review for that. Funnily enough, that was New Life Begins was the very first guest recording that I ever did. So that's very exciting. And then The Double. Do I need to say any more? I mean, I reviewed this both on Tea and Soju and Daybuk. I just loved it. And then we have A Journey to Love, which again, one of my favorites. I really, really loved A Journey to Love. Now, people are going to be asking me, why are they 9.5s and not 10s? Guys, I don't know, okay? I don't know. Sometimes there's just like a little feeling that makes them a 9.5 rather than a 10, and I don't understand why a lot of the time. Sometimes I'm just way more in that world. And it'll just be niggly things here and there. And for me, the difference between a 9.5 and a 10 is the fact whether I can ignore those niggly things or not, right? And for some of these dramas, I just couldn't. There's just a couple of things that I can't really ignore. So yeah, that's why. So for 9.5 K dramas, I have a few as well. And the first one is Love Scout. I reviewed this on the podcast. I loved it. We had a lot of fun talking about it. The next one is Daily Dose of Sunshine. Now, this one is going to be very, very interesting. This was one of my top dramas for 2024. Was it 2024, 2023? 2023. It was one of my it was my top K drama for 2023 actually, and funnily enough, I'm going to be reviewing this very soon on Tea and Soju because I really wanted to talk about it. I feel like it's one of those dramas that isn't as regularly talked about, and I'm going to be rewatching, so it's going to be interesting because I don't remember a lot of the details, and I feel like that means it's good enough for me to go back in for a rewatch. So I am very excited to, rewatch and review that one. The next one is Tomorrow. I cried buckets again. Like, I feel like the theme is that to be a highly rated drama for me, you have to make me cry. And the thing is, it's not that difficult, guys. I'm just one of those people that cry very easily. I cry at happy endings, I cry at sad endings. So, tomorrow, cried buckets. It's about like these grim reapers, and you get to see again, it deals with death, and you get to see the stories of these people that are dying or are dead, and they go and collect their souls. So it's that. Next up is our beloved Summer. I freaking adore our beloved Summer. It's one of my favorite kind of like youth to adult K dramas. So I am actually also going to be rewatching that one, not for tea and soju, but I am actually going to be rewatching that one soon, and I'm very excited. And then we have Happiness, a little bit of zombie actions up in there. My partner has actually just finished watching Happiness, and he loved it, freaking loved it. He binged it within like 2 or 3 days. So that's very excited that, I got to talk to him about that one. The chemistry in that one was just so good, and the story itself was also brilliant. So I really, really enjoyed Happiness. Then we have Racket Boys. I mean, it is youth drama, it is found family. I loved it. Navalera was also cried absolutely freaking buckets at this one. Every single episode, I feel like, but it's so beautiful. I think it's still Song Kang's best work is probably Navalera so far of the ones that I've watched. Memorist, also very underrated crime drama. Loved it. And finally, Death's Game. So that's kind of like the 9.5K dramas that I have down on my list. So, we are now going to be moving into the other end of the scale. That being, we're going to be talking about, my lowest ever rated dramas. And I have 10 on this list, and they range from a 2.5 to a 6 on MDL. Now, guys, these are just my opinions. If you like these dramas, that is totally fine. I did not. I regret watching most of these, if I be honest. But most of these I actually watched while I was still in that era where I'll finish everything that I start type situation. So glad I'm no longer there. But I think we will start from the very, very lowest rated drama that I ever had. And that is a Japanese drama, and it is called Yuri Dano Kan Dano. It is a 2019 drama, and I have rated it a 2.5. Definitely do not recommend this drama. I just don't recommend it at all. It is 8 episodes, and it's a GL, I think. It's so I had not looked at this at all, right? This came up on Viki, and I was like, "Oh, this sounds like a little fun friends drama." It is not, guys. It is not. I really should have checked the tags on MDL, because the tags on MDL are naive female lead, coma, pedophilia, miniseries, university, student supporting character, student female lead, school setting, childhood friends relationship, neighbors relationship. Guys, it is, oh my god, it is terrible. It is so incredibly toxic, like so toxic. This so basically MDL reads, the story follows university student Sugawara Yuri suffering from stalkers. Due to the harassment she receives, Yuri decides to move out of her place. While looking for a new place to live, she reunites with her elementary school classmate Ni no Miya Yuri. When I tell you, this was just like this girl, so not the college girl, but the childhood friend, she was just so incredibly toxic. She was forcing this girl to do stuff that this girl absolutely did not. She was emotionally manipulating her, and I was like, what the heck am I watching, Vicky? Why are you suggesting this to me? I'm worried. I'm honestly worried. So I finished it. I gave it a 2.5. I don't know why I finished it, guys. I want my hours back. It wasn't that long. I mean, it was 8 episodes, and they were about 25 minutes. But my God, I don't know why I finished it. I did, but it is my lowest rated thing. I will never touch that drama again. And it's one of those dramas that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. So there we go. So that's Yuri Dano Kan Dano from 2019. Then we have the 2021 drama Be Together. Oh my god, this drama, guys. It was so incredibly infuriating. It is 35 episodes and it stars Sun Yi and Zhang Binbin. Now, it's supposed to be about this group of friends, of girlfriends who live, fairly close together. They kind of support each other and whatnot. And our female lead, played by Sun Yi, Xia Yan, is in a relationship, but the relationship is really bad. So she ends up breaking up with her boyfriend. And then obviously, Zhang Binbin, who plays Chang Yi, becomes like her love interest and they kind of come together. They are constantly misunderstanding each other because her friends are trash. Her friends are so bad. All they care about is themselves. There's not an ounce of support in these girls' bones. Like, it's so incredibly toxic of friendships. Like, I don't even understand why these four girls are friends because they are all so bad together. I mean, one of the women, right, one of her supposed friends actually ends up getting together with her, with our female lead's ex. And like, to her, it's absolutely fine. This ex was toxic. He was really bad to our female lead, but that's fine. That's fine. I'm like, who puts relation? Like, I just couldn't. I remember. Do you know why I finished this drama? I remember exactly. It was because we were watching it all together on the Asian drama Discord, which was the Discord that I started before, tea and soju was even a thing. And a bunch of us were watching this together and we were rage watching together. We were so infuriated that we would watch an episode and we'd all be on Discord being like, blah, 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 blah. Like, so incredibly annoyed and so incredibly raging, but we were all raging together. So I think that's why we finished it. But yeah, highly do not recommend. That is a 2021 drama Be Together. I scored it a 3 out of 10. Now, next up, I don't think we need much introduction to why I dislike this drama, but it's Cheese in the Trap, the 2016 K drama. It's just poorly written. It is toxic and I just don't understand this main couple whatsoever. So this is a drama that stars Kim Go-eun and Park Hae-jin. It also has So Kang-joon and Lee Song-kyung. Guys, this was just toxic. It was so unnecessary. I don't understand. It was problematic left, right, and center. I just did not like it. So I scored it a 4 out of 10. Next up, we have... Now, if Becky from Don't Sue Rebecca, if she's listening, she'll know exactly which drama this is because me and her rage together about this. And it's the Chinese drama Cute Programmer. It's a 2021 drama. It's 30 episodes and it is a WeTV drama. It stars Xing Xiaolin and it stars Zhu Shu Dan. These two, my God, this male lead was just bad. He was he made mistakes, but it was never his fault. He never truly apologized to the female lead. I just honestly thought he didn't really like her. Like, he was such a toxic male lead and not one of those that is like cold on the outside, but fluffy marshmallow. Not that at all, because I feel like he didn't change. He learned nothing from his mistakes. And yeah, I just don't think this was one of those dramas where the female lead would have been so much better off if she was by herself. Like, just be by yourself, honey. You do not need this male lead. Go find your own life. So yeah, I just really, really disliked this drama as a whole. Don't ask me why I finished it. Again, I must have been in a fever dream or something for most of these. So that is Cute Programmer, and I scored it a 4 out of 10. Next up, is The Heirs, the Korean drama. I finished it because everybody keeps saying this is a classic and you kind of need to watch it. And yeah, I just like it. It's very much of its time. It's a 2013 K drama, so you're kind of expecting that to come out of it. Did I like it? Absolutely not. There was not a lot of chemistry between any of the characters. I don't know. It's just one of those that I was like, I finished it. I did. I scored it a 5.5 on MDL. So I guess it's halfway. Would I recommend it? Not necessarily, even if people call it a classic. I don't necessarily think you need to watch every classic out there. And this is one of those. I don't think you need Sue Me. I don't think you need to watch The Heirs. The next one, we're back to we're back to a Japanese drama, and it's called Good Morning Call. I did in fact watch episode season 1 and season 2 of this. I scored it a 5.5. It's I don't know, guys. It's just it was I don't even know what to think about it. I've erased most of it out of my mind, I'm not gonna lie. So the MDL description reads Yushikawa now stays behind to live by herself when her parents leave to inherit her grandpa's farm in the country. On the day she moves into her new apartment, she discovers that it was also rented to Yuhara Hisashi, a cute, super cool, popular guy from her school. And not only did their housing agency unexpectedly close down, the landlord of the apartment told them that they had to pay more for their apartment than they had expected. With no money and no home to return to, now and Hisashi decide to live together as flatmates. Now, this male lead is just, he's not very nice. He's really not very nice. So I think that's what I remember mainly, and I didn't necessarily like it. Which and there's a really big love triangle constantly, and I was like, I'm so over this love triangle, and I don't like love triangles in general. Now this was fun because it was like cohabitation, so I was like, this is going to be great. I love cohabitation. But yeah, no, it did not go down well for me. Next one up is Count Your Lucky Stars from 2020. Now, this is a drama that stars Shen Yu as a female lead, Jerry Yan as a male lead, and we also have Wade Ziming as a secondary cast, and Jackie Lee. So I actually went in because I like Wade Ziming and Jackie Lee. My god, this was dragged out. This was 34 episodes, and this male lead was just so mean and so bad. It's just one of those that you can't really. He's so unlikable. So I didn't like it. This was so much more focused on business, and I am not usually a fan of that, but also it was so waterlogged. This could have easily been 20 episodes. You could have slashed 14 episodes out of it, and it would have made a much better drama. I found no chemistry between Shen Yu and Jerry Yan. So, chemistry between the main couple is a big deal breaker for me. And that was, one of the reasons there. So I scored it a 5.5. Now, next up is a drama called Kuzu no Honkai from 2017. Again, this poster looks very lovely, and that's all I kind of saw on Viki before I don't even think it's on Viki anymore, but it used to be on Viki. So that's where I watched it. And it came up and I was like, "Oh, I'm intrigued. I'm going to watch this. It's 12 episodes. It's short." I didn't realize it's an 18 plus restricted. And these two are literally being together and having a sexual relationship together because they're in love with their teachers and they can't be with their teachers, but then they do go to be with the teachers, and they're both students, 17-year-olds. So yeah, I don't know why I finished it. I must have been I don't know. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I must have been sick or something. My brain not quite functioning, because goodness gracious, I would highly not recommend this. Do not watch this. It's just such a bad drama. Well, if you're okay with like teacher, I don't know, teacher manipulation almost, and teacher dating their 17-year-old but students, then go right ahead. No. It's a no from me. Moving right along. The next one is Clean with a Passion for Now, the 2018 not Chinese. There is a Chinese remake. That's why I almost said that. But the K drama, I didn't like. I dropped the Chinese drama, so that's why that one's not even on the list. But I did watch the Korean drama original. Gosh, it was just bad. There's not any chemistry. In general, I don't think any of the actors did that well in this one. The story is very long for what it needs to be. Yeah, it's a no from me again on that one. And then lastly, I'm already laughing. Jess, if you're listening, you know exactly what this is because Jess and I have had many conversations about this drama, and it is the 2021 Chinese drama Miss the Dragon. I don't know why I finished it because it's not good. And I think many people started this because it's Wang Hedi, and a lot of people wanted to watch more of him after Love Between Fairy and Devil. This ain't it. His styling, it is terrible. It is terrible. The styling of the drama just isn't that good. And then we have the actress Zhu Shu Dan, who I don't particularly think she's that great of an actress. I will put out there. I have seen her in many of the things, and actually, I end up dropping a lot of her dramas. She was also the main role in Cute Programmer. So there we go. I may already be biased by that alone. But I just don't think she's that good of an actress at portraying, emotion or anything like that. So that, yeah, it was not a great drama. I don't know why I finished it. I did, but I don't know why. Like I said, for most of these, I must have been in a bit of a fever dream because I'm so glad I'm not there anymore. And if I'm not enjoying it, regardless of how many episodes I've watched, I will drop it. Just because I don't want to put myself through some of these. So that is my 10 lowest rated dramas on MDL ever. So that is Yuri Dano Can Dano, Be Together, Cheese in the Trap, Cute Programmer, The Heirs, Good Morning Call, Count Your Lucky Stars, Kuzu no Honkai, Clean with a Passion for Now, and Miss the Dragon. None of those. I don't recommend any of those, guys. None of those. Don't watch them. Don't watch them. It's not worth it. So that is it, guys. That is the episode. What did you guys think? Did you guess which dramas were going to be in my top bracket? And if you did, please come and let me know because I would love to know. And yeah, that is everything. This has been another episode of the Tea and Soju podcast. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I shall catch you next time. Bye.